Emulated is a deeper dive into the unexplored topics revolving game emulation. I've been emulating the games that I love for almost as long as I've been gaming, starting with the OG NES. There's a history and rich cultural significance emulation brings to the gaming community as a whole, which I haven't previously touched upon here on the channel. Emulation is usually seen by many as this niche community or hobby, and is rarely discussed within the larger context of the gaming industry as a whole. It's traditionally been relegated as a taboo niche due to the perceived moral ambiguity, which has led to confusion surrounding what emulation really is and what it means despite its legality. Which, if you think about it, is super strange considering that emulation can now be found almost everywhere. Not just on your typical desktop PCs, but also on home theater PCs, on modded home and handheld consoles, on cell phones, on Raspberry Pis, and even through streaming devices, and so much more. If it has a processor, chances are someone has figured out how to run an emulator and game on it. Even the big game companies that design the consoles that we love have been following the emulation community's lead and now emulate past consoles on current gen hardware. Emulation is truly all around us, and it's something that I feel is important to talk about in depth, now more so than ever. Despite the ability to emulate game consoles on PCs being around for the past few decades and having a substantial effect on gamers' experiences, as well as the gaming industry as a whole, the general public still seems to struggle to understand emulation, and they have very conflicting perspectives and opinions on what emulation really is all about and what it means to be a person that emulates video games. At the heart of this series, my aim is to demystify emulation for the general public and to unite the emulation communities in our love for all things emulation. It's my hopes that we're going to create a dialogue here and talk about it as openly and honestly as possible in order to challenge ourselves and the world to see emulation in a new and exciting light. This will involve exploring more complex topics that I haven't touched on before regarding the legalization of emulation. This includes the increasing pressure and push from the gaming industry and their respective governments to criminalize emulation and, by extension, associated communities such as game and console modding. Along with a new format and new topics to discuss, you can expect to find short and concise setup guides that will show you how to configure and optimize your favorite emulators for the best possible performance on your hardware. From time to time, I'll also continue to share the latest emulation news that excites all of us within the emulation community. There are so many topics to discuss, and I'm really looking forward to jumping into it with all of you. Together, we're going to explore the past, present, and future of gaming. This is just the beginning, so let's get into it. This is Emulated, Exploring Emulation. This video is made possible thanks to your support. Please continue to like, comment on, and share Emulated with your friends. You can also level up your support by becoming a Patreon supporter like these awesome people.